Welcome back, Productizers. In this lesson, we'll talk about what the word productizing means. This is important because we want to be in a productizing mindset while we build our business so that it can scale and eventually be sold or transitioned to autopilot. Productizing is a relatively new term, so you might not be familiar with it, but it's essentially the fastest way to build a scalable business that will eventually be able to run without your involvement. So, more specifically, you know what a service company is. You essentially sell your time to perform a specific task for a client. This describes what most freelancers do. Service businesses are great because you can start offering them immediately, and your time to revenue is virtually nothing. You don't have to develop software. You arguably don't even need a website. In fact, when I started out as a freelancer, I didn't have my own website for over a year. All you need is to find a client willing to pay you money. But the main drawback with service businesses is they depend on you, your time, your expertise, your service. That means they're inherently much harder to scale. On the opposite end of the spectrum, we have SaaS, or software as a service businesses. These are platforms that enable people to serve themselves. SaaS businesses are much easier to scale than service businesses, and they don't require you to run. However, they take a lot of development and optimization, so the time to revenue can be weeks, months, or even years. So, is there a happy middle ground? Yep, and that's what a productized service is. Productized services are scalable like a SaaS business, but with the quick time to revenue of a service. So, productized services are essentially software-enabled services that have a limited scope, whereas with a service you try to be everything that your client needs. With a productized service, you tell your leads right off the bat what the scope of your services is, and then let them qualify themselves. Next, they're repeatable. Because you have a limited scope, you can create an offering that is predictable and repeatable. That means the results are often predictable and repeatable, and the fulfillment of your service requires significantly less skill, which is important for scalability. Then, productized services are procedurized. Since they're limited and repeatable, you can document exactly how to deliver the service to the client. Again, this decreases the level of skill required to deliver the service, which means it's easier to scale the business and eventually remove yourself entirely. Next, we have recurring revenue. Now, some people will argue that productized services don't technically need to have recurring revenue, but part of the allure of productized businesses is being able to scale them, and without recurring revenue, you will have an incredibly hard time scaling. Fifth, they're done for you. This means you do all of the work for the client, which provides a significant advantage for the client over SaaS services. In fact, you'll often find productized businesses that are essentially done-for-you implementations of a SaaS product. For example, a company that offers Infusionsoft campaign setup and monitoring. And last, productized services are sticky. Because they have much more touch points with clients than SaaS businesses and more predictable outcomes than service businesses, the churn rate or cancellation rate is very low. This means you're able to continuously stack recurring revenue as you build your client base. In the rest of this course, we'll talk about how to build your productized web design business, starting with the next lesson, choosing a market.